For today's cup of coffee,
Cup of coffee.
a very interesting story that I found on Daily Mail, and this is by Poppy Atkinson Gibson, and it was March 7th of 2024. And this gentleman that you're seeing a picture of he was a painter that he lost both of his arms in a bike crash, and he has undergone a successful double arm transplant.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is a man, and the donor was a woman.
Yeah. You know, there's different, biological things between male and female, so I wonder...
It's going to be interesting to
How does
find
that
out how that
look?
happens. We got pictures. I should have shown you the pictures before we started on this. And his name is Raj Kumar, and he underwent a 12-hour surgery on January the 19th there in Delhi, India. And they reattached nerves, veins, muscles, and skin. Well, I think all that, you have to have all that or you got nothing. And so we will see. It will be very interesting to see what happens with this. They said that the procedure was successful, and I've actually got two pictures, and the other one, I don't know why, it's like cropped the top of the gentleman's head there. But as you can see, there is definitely a difference in skin texture.
Mm-hmm. Well, there is.
And some pigmentation. It doesn't matter as long as they are functional. I just found it very interesting that they, and this is a controversial topic in today's world. It shouldn't be.
Maybe they thought it wouldn't matter considering it's just limbs.
That is possible. But if you get into as far as cellular memory, that's not just woo-woo stuff.
No.
And that there are, you can type in cellular memory and there's going to be all kinds of things come up. And then there's always people you've got the naysayers and the people that want to debunk stuff regardless of what is said. Mm-hmm. It's no wonder people are confused.
Well.
And as far as cellular memory and can memory be inherited, that's where you get into that 100th monkey thing.
Right.
That even though nobody teaches the monkeys how to do something, they automatically know because of genetic or cellular memory. Mm. And then you can go in, especially heart transplants. Mm-hmm. There's lots of accounts of people who have had, have been recipients of organs that all of a sudden sometimes their personalities changed and that they were getting some of the traits of the donor.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Well, it's interesting. And I have heard, this has been going on for years because I keep up with things like this. And Greg Braden is great and talking about, and it's not just him talking about it. This is science, and I didn't look for the link, so on that the heart has its own sort of magnetic field. Heart tissue is unlike anything else in the body.
Right. I mean, it's central source in a way. Power source. It's basically the body's battery. Mm-hmm.
And it's and actually that force, which, there's a lot of different cultures, they understand that because you've got that heart chakra, that's incredibly powerful. Mm-hmm. That can extend maybe 5-6 feet outside of the physical body.
Really?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah. And so within that, like I said, people that didn't know, I know one time there was a lady who had received a heart transplant from a gentleman that he had been a carpenter, and all of a sudden she wanted to do home improvement type things and was able to do it she had never done these things before and suddenly just knew how to do them.
Right.
So
it's weird.
It's
cool.
weird, but it is cool. And there's even been movies, of course, a lot of them were horror movies on some of these things. But you've got to wonder, it used to be people understood there's a difference in physiology.
Mm-hmm.
And 150 years ago when I was in nursing and doing all the stuff and was young and got to reading some of these studies, and it's like, okay, all this stuff, especially medications, were done by men on men. And women responded totally differently to some of these medications. Women have different symptoms of heart attack than men do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's not that crushing pain. Sometimes it can be like indigestion, different things like that.
Why would they think just to test basically on men?
They just didn't think. They honestly, they just think that everybody's interchangeable. They're not. Even as far as ethnicity, it matters. In medications and stuff, it definitely... That's why epigenetics is going to revolutionize medicine, because one size does not fit all. There are so many factors that whether a medication or whatever it is, treatment or whatever, is going to be effective or not effective for an individual.
That's true. That is very true.
And that's just like they have the DNA test for psychiatric medications currently, of what will work or is, according to some of these genetics, will work and what won't. Yeah. That's not foolproof.
Right.
I'm living proof of that. I don't know why they haven't extended that to other medications at this point. Mm-hmm. And even as far as I had read a news story there earlier today, they have figured out that the COVID thing affected men differently than it did women. And it's like, well, yeah. Because there are differences. There are differences.
There are.
So it will be a very interesting thing to see if there is any kind of cellular memory with this gentleman. Mm-hmm. Whether he has any problems with it. The main problem they're going to worry about right now with Mr. Kumar, to make sure that the transplants are not rejected or anything, because today is March, at the time of recording, March the 7th. He had this in January. That's 2 months out, and that's still fairly new.
It is.
And prayers for this man, because I wish him the best. Mm-hmm. But it will be interesting to see if there's any kind of unexpected things.
Anomalies?
How do you know?
Anomalies.
Anomalies. I think that's a perfect word. But I just thought it was fascinating. Mm-hmm. This, and it may have happened, like I said, as far as internal organs, that's not uncommon, as far as to change between male and female recipients and donors and stuff like that, as far as a heart being a heart.
Right. I mean, it only makes sense, like, there would be differences there, though.
But, common sense has been banned.
Well, that doesn't make it any less factual.
No, it's exactly right. Truth does not care about people's feelings.
No.
We were discussing that earlier today, and it's like, people can deny gravity is, but you go out and jump off a roof, your ass gonna hit the ground. Mm-hmm. But I just thought this was fascinating, and like I said, I wish Mr. Kumar rapid healing, and it didn't say as far as whether the limbs are now fully functional or not, but that could just, if this is successful, that could open up for so many people that have lost limbs. That could, instead of
It could
having to
open up
have
a whole.
a prosthesis.
Yeah.
But there is a little bit of a Frankenstein element to this.
A little bit.
Well,
It's very much Frankenstein-esque. I mean, you're putting other parts, based donor parts onto other people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what was Frankenstein? Just a mishmash of a bunch of body parts put together.
Yeah, the monster was. He was.
Yeah.
And somebody playing God.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
So,
yep.
yeah, this is a shorter cup, but it just questions and ponderings. Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating.
It is.
I mean, I've got enough of that, inquisitive, well, let's see what happens if we do this. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's a good thing that I was inhibited by math. I would not have wanted to have been a mad scientist.
No.
But could it have happened earlier in my
Easily.
life? Yeah, it could have. Because when you get into
It's a
the
slippery
science,
slope.
it is. It is. That's the reason it is imperative that you have ethics with the science. Mm-hmm. Just because you can does not mean you should.
Right. Right.
So just all kinds of questions with this, and to observe. And I will tell you this for people who's like, they want to throw out the old ways of healing and stuff. Medical leeches. I'm a fan of leeches. I am.
There's something about that. That's just not.
I know it freaks people out, but they produce a natural form of heparin, which is a blood thinner, and they can be extremely effective when somebody has had limb reattachment or something like that, to prevent blood clots and stuff that could cause a transplant to fail or a reattachment to fail.
Right.
And so with the squeamishness, people need to know. Instead of, I would trust a leech more than I would a pharmaceutical in a lot of places.
I mean, I do agree with you on that, but it's a leech.
They've got a
worm with
purpose.
teeth.
They've got a purpose. But you know what? They anesthetize the area. They do.
I get that. That doesn't make it any less freaky. That doesn't make it any less freaky.
Is it too early to talk about the medical maggots?
And you get on to me about this certain stuff.
But they're great. They only eat dead or necrotic tissue. They do not eat healthy tissue. And so if somebody has gangrene or something like that, there is a usage for that. Yeah.
I mean, I do get it.
And there are places. I actually looked into ordering some medical leeches a couple of years ago.
Don't you bring those into this house.
I didn't say I was going to use them. I just wanted to see how much they cost. They were actually quite affordable.
Don't you be bringing no leeches into this house, damn it. I will sleep forever out in that shed back there.
Well, you just keep them you could have them as a pet.
Does it look like I care?
We could put them in with the Marimo. I can see it now. The cats would be going through with the leeches hanging off of them.
Literally.
That would be bad. That would be
From
really,
paws.
really bad.
Paws up.
Oh, final thoughts on this. Like I said, prayers for Mr. Kumar. I wish him the best.
I hope the transplants are successful and they become more obtainable to people who need them. It is very Frankenstein-esque, but for the good.
Yeah.
It's for a good reason.
For him, if it will give him his life back.
Yeah.
And there's been so many people, I mean, you think about this. It could be incredible.
You could have gave him a wooden peg.
Well, I mean, both arms and to have, even as far as self-care and different things like that. But it's going to be an adjustment. And
peg leg.
I know. Well,
peg
it's the whole pirate thing. Arg. But this, like I said, this was both arms. It was tragic. Mm-hmm. And he had, I didn't include the one picture. It had been sometime, let's see when it said. It was not a recent amputation that he had had when he lost his limbs. And let me see if it says when he had lost them. It just said that he was riding a motorbike or something like that and hit a train. I mean, it was not good.
Damn.
Not good. No, it did not. It did not say when that he lost his arms. It just said he had been living with prosthetics. Now, that to me would have been a crucial amount to find out how long it had been.
How he lost his arms.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, it wasn't a recent amputation.
Right.
And because people are kind of squeamish and stuff like it, if you've never seen a stump, it's not a big whoop. But no, it obviously had been, from the picture that I did not include, totally, completely healed. So it's been possibly years since he lost his arms. Mm-hmm. And to recently have this, the other limbs attached.
What kind of prosthetics did he have beforehand?
It didn't. No, I doubt that. That. But that's fascinating. And we will, hopefully, I will keep an eye out in the coming days, years, whatever it is, to see if they say anything about him having any kind of adverse or interesting events.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. So I didn't mean to stomp up. I did get an Easter. I will start the increased dosage tomorrow.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
If you've had experiences with paranormal or supernatural encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, odd science.
Weird science.
Yeah, Weird Science. Such a good movie. Such a good song. Oingo Boingo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We like Danny Elfman, his stuff lots. You can send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. That'll be in the description box, and the link to the article will also be there.
Mm-hmm. And if you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Thank you all, and have a good.
Know that you're loved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff. Remind other people they're loved.
Yes.
And Lord willing, we'll see you on the next cup.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Bye.